picture me popping in to just kind of give you a little rundown because this video changed quite a bit. So initially I was going to do kind of a last long run before my race style video. However, a lot of things did not go as planned. The original plan was to wake up early and essentially mimic race day, test out my outfit, test out my shoes, test out my nutrition, see what I was going to eat for my pre-breakfast race day run. We're going to try to get to the trailhead right at the time that the race would start and just pretty much mimic the whole weekend, even test running the entire 25-mile course. And essentially what you will find is none of that really happened. A lot of things kind of arose, and essentially it was a great opportunity to problem solve, realize what we could do different for race day, etc., etc. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what originally I had anticipated for this run. Before I let you get back to the video, if you don't mind, if you could like the video, perhaps subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated, but I won't bother you too much. Thanks for watching. Good morning. It is Saturday, May 4th. Although I was hoping we would be getting out of here, early this morning to mimic race day next weekend, that just did not happen. I was so tired, and I'll be honest with you, during our trip to Ecuador, we really never slept in any later than 7:30, and I had just been feeling, after getting back and working this week, like I needed a good night of sleep. So I let myself sleep in. We're not rushing too hard, but we can at least kind of do a test run, like I said, of all of our gear, nutrition, hydration, and just our approach to everything, including, clothing and fueling. So not really mad about it, but always late. We'll be making our way up to the trailhead here shortly, and we'll get going. I'll kind of do a quick run through of the outfit and shoes, socks, all of that, what I have on me. So we'll see you here in just a minute. Okay, we are here at the trailhead. So quick little run through. I have my go-to sea lay hat, my Pit Viper sunglasses, got the low light lenses on for when we go through the woods, the John G Sun Chaser long sleeve, my Solomon pack. I have Tailwind and electrolytes in this, water. I have homemade gels, which is applesauce and rice, 2 additional gels, a Uncrustable, a Betty Lou's energy bar, and then also an empty bottle that has just electrolyte powder in it, which we'll refill when we get a little less than halfway through. An empty water bottle, water filter, toilet paper, because you never know, sunscreen, Aquifer lip balm. I have biker shorts on, smart wool socks, and my John G La Sportiva Jackal collab shoes. We're gonna get this going. 25 miles. Here we go.
My excuse for not running is I'm videoing, but it's just an excuse. I'm fucking whooped. This crazy bitch.
We're about 10 3/4 of a mile of the way in, and I've been keeping the effort pretty reserved, which I think is a smart move. Been doing pretty good with nutrition. My stomach's been feeling okay. Getting my liquid hydration and nutrition in. Got my homemade gel in. I forgot to put Aquifer on my toes, so I'm gonna do that now. We're gonna fill up some water and keep moving. I am pretty hungry today, so I am having an Uncrustable while we refill our waters and stuff, but all in all going pretty okay, but we might shorten it up, so we'll see. Basically, we would take 4 miles off. We'll see. Since we got back from Ecuador, we've kind of been battling Okay, we've been battling Montezuma's revenge in a way. We don't know exactly what the issue is, but Chandler's been...
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days.
4 days of just like absolute poopy blowout. I've had my share of issues, but he's definitely had the worst of it. We've been dealing with that, and I feel okay today. I ate some marshmallows last night from the advice of a doctor that apparently marshmallows are like good for your like diarrhea. So it's just so you know, Chandler didn't eat them last night. I haven't had any issues today so far, knock on wood. Please, I hope that's the same.
I ate some this morning.
Yeah, he ate some this morning. So it's been a fun little obstacle to face today. We've officially deviated from plan B, which was to shorten it up by 4 miles, which is totally fine. Chandler's stomach and some other issues we got going on. We're just going with it, but better to get him out now than next weekend on race day. So we're making modifications and being smart. We are 20 miles in, almost 21 miles. Wasn't expecting that. We have maybe at least another mile, I would guess, till we're back at the car. Lots of unexpected twists and turns today. About a half mile to go. I'm so excited to be done. Just made it back to the car. 22.25 miles. Changed my shirt. We'll do a little recap on everything that went wrong and the things we might have gotten right on that here in a moment, but we need some water and desperately need some real food, so we're gonna go seek that out. Perhaps a shower as well. Tacos. We want some birria tacos. Birria. Okay, we'll see you when we see you. Holy chip.
Hi, Stephanie subscribers.
Hold on, say it again.
Hi, Stephanie subscribers. Welcome to Taco Time with Tori.
Taco time.
Sorry,
This is
dropping
Beans.
ice. Dropping ice.
This is Bean.
So it is now Sunday, and I thought it would be nice to do a proper sit down and just kind of review some of the things, well, a lot of the things that did not go as planned for our last long run before our race yesterday. So just kind of jumping right in. I do think, as I mentioned earlier, it was a bit ambitious to kind of think that we were going to run the full course. Again, ideally, I think it is a good idea to check out as much of a course as you possibly can. I just think it's nice to get familiar with, you know, the trail, how technical the trail is, climbs, descents, where you might feel comfortable, where you might need some work, where it might be a good idea to fuel, footwear, etc., you know. So I do think it's a great idea to get familiar with the course. I think in our minds, we were just thinking, you know, one last run of the course and we'll feel really confident that we can do it. But all in all, I know that we have it in us. I know it's not going to be anything crazy next weekend. I do think it ended up working out that we ended up running shorter than planned. However, our itinerary or course that we were going to do changed about 4 times. And despite thinking we were going to be running a shorter distance than what we had originally planned, we ended up running 22 miles, which is still longer than we thought it was going to be. Basically, our course changed so many times that it doesn't really matter like what we had planned, because it just changed so much. The one benefit to that is I feel the segments of the course that we were able to run during our route yesterday, we really got to focus on, you know, what approach we might use for those sections, you know, like what I'm planning to run, what might be good to walk, how much effort I want to put in for certain climbs, where it might be a good idea to get a gel, kind of thinking about aid stations and how I want to refuel at those. I think it was all really beneficial to kind of slow down and just take that in. Ideally, we would have woken up earlier yesterday, but I just know both of us, after traveling and a week of work, we just needed an opportunity to sleep in. No, it didn't mimic race day, but we did get to rest, and I know we needed it, so not really mad about that. I had mentioned I forgot to put Aquifer on my feet yesterday. Normally I just do that as like extra lubrication. Sometimes I get hot spots, not too often, but what had happened was the socks that I had worn or chosen to wear yesterday, I wore in Ecuador, and I must have worn them on, there were 2 hikes we did. Both of the hikes we did, we were like screeing. So like in a scree field and literally like skiing down on our feet. And it was a lot of like volcanic rock and things of that, like that sort of material. And it's so fine. It got into my shoes and got into my socks. And despite washing my socks, I think there were still remnants of that like rock and scree that had stuck in the sock, believe it or not, even after washing them. So it led to a lot of debris in my sock, which led to it being on my foot, which led to just some irritation within the sock. Thankfully, no major issues arose from that, but it did help me to realize like, oh, wow, I might need to wash my socks again, or just be very conscious of whether or not I still have some of that scree or material in my socks. But I do think the sock choice was good, just a weird situation that arose from that. And kind of the last, unfortunate thing that we weren't anticipating was Chandler just really struggled and wasn't feeling well. I, by the grace of whatever higher power, felt okay for the whole thing. So it ended up being a little bit easier of an effort on my end of things. Obviously, with him not feeling well, I'm not just gonna go peace and leave him or anything. So I think it was a bit unsettling for him, but I think with every obstacle we ran into yesterday, there is a positive. As far as the things that did go right, I would say my fueling and hydration was pretty much spot on during the run. I do think I could have done a little bit better with my like breakfast / pre-run meal. So really nice to just consider that for next weekend and not make that mistake next weekend. My clothing choice, and I think Chandler's clothing and shoe choice as well, was perfect. So not gonna make any modifications there. Like I said, I think kind of approaching the course slower, although it wasn't really our intention, it did help us to be more mindful of, potential approaches to different climbs, downhills, where it might be a good idea to get nutrition on the course for next weekend. Finally, just mindset, just keeping it positive. And although it's a race, I do think it's important to always, number one, have fun. I'm not gonna win it. I know I'm not going to win this race. I just want to go out there, enjoy my local trails, and do and give the absolute best that I can. And I think that should be everybody's objective for a race. So ultimately, trail running should be fun. I'd like to see trail running as you're getting out and you're always going out for an adventure. I think as far as trail running and ultra running goes, I think one of the lessons that they will always teach us is, unlike road running, very similar to real life, you can have a plan and an idea of how you would like things to go, but it might not go as planned. You could have bad weather and you could have something arise that you had completely not even accounted for. And it just is a testament to how adaptable the human spirit is, and just trying to overcome those obstacles as they arise. I did want to leave this video, since we are now 6 days out from race day, with just some goals in mind for my race next weekend. It is a 25-mile course, roughly. I always like to set 4 goals for a race. First being to finish. I think ultimately you never know what could happen, like I just said. So just making it to the finish line is always just goal number 1. My first goal would be to run 5 hours, 15 minutes. Goal number 2 would be to run about 5-hour marker. And then if I am I would love to hit 4 hours and 45 minutes. That would just be so awesome. That would be amazing, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, gonna take you guys along with the whole race process as much as possible. Made it to this point in the video. Thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate you. You are awesome. If you haven't, consider subscribing. I love trail running, as you can tell. I do have a few ultra marathons coming up over the next few months, as well as some cool events related to, you know, big mountain ultra marathons and big mountain adventures. So if you're interested in anything mountains, that's what I'm all about here on the channel. So like I said, please consider subscribing. If you don't mind, drop a like, drop a comment. That would be so greatly appreciated. With everything being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next adventure. Bye!